All right, and welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. My guy Anthony Schlegel, ready to rock and roll. First day for the Buckeyes back at practice after Monday being an off day. Fun show, Schlegs. We broke down, I believe, the tight ends yesterday. Maybe the
Don't want
running
to
backs.
lose it, Bobby. Don't want to
Stay
lose
with
it.
the running backs. I think done running backs, tight ends. I think quarterbacks is the last one that we have left. So we'll get to that here a little bit later. Talk a little bit about the Buckeyes heading out for practice, expectations for today, this week, getting the first day off, Schlegs coming back, settling back in, full pads. It was great. I was talking to James out there, getting him juiced up, the stuff that Fickle would always say, because it's the stuff that he says to his players about, first day back, make sure we're not still sleeping on the couch, like we're ready to go. Like this isn't, we're back in the saddle now. This isn't some extended vacation. And so all the good stuff that he throws out there to find a way to get his guys motivated and get them going. Got a chance to watch a little bit of practice today before I want to come over here and jump on with you. Big announcement. I don't know, big announcement. Ross Bjork is going to be jumping on with Ryan before the press conference, going to talk about some of the game day activations and different things that they've got going. So that'll be interesting to see with Texas. But what's interesting is also the fact that the AP poll was released, Schlegs, and this is the first year. I don't know if it's first year ever, but it's first year in quite some time, at least recent memory. Ohio State comes in at number 2, which isn't significant. I mean, they've done that before, but Texas comes in as 1, and that there will be a 1 versus 2 to open the season guaranteed. Like nothing can happen. It is going to be the 2 best teams as per the coaches poll. AP will be out next week as per the coaches poll coming up. So I think that's fairly significant.
Yeah, it's fairly significant. And also when you look at that poll, you see how many first place votes they received. And Texas had, I think, 28. Ohio State had 20. Penn State had 14. A lot of parity. Clemson had 2. Georgia had 3. But there's a lot of people that.
Is there anybody in their slides you look at that you don't think fits?
Well, you and I just offline just discussing it, Bob. It's not necessarily fits, but it's the uncertainty of where we are. You have, and let's face it, an unproven commodity and
here's the thing.
First year starter.
Yep, 4 of the top 5 teams, all of them except for Penn State, are breaking in new quarterbacks.
Think about that, guys. Like, I mean, and again, in the NFL, you're never going to go out and say, okay, this rookie quarterback, they're going to make it to the playoffs or they're going to do a deep playoff run. You might say that if it's a young quarterback, first-round draft pick, but they got a great defense, they got some weapons behind them. But normally the people that are drafting those guys are bottom feeders.
Yeah.
And so in college football, the fact, again, the most pivotal position on the entire field is the quarterback. They're the one that had the ball in their hands every single time. And 4 of the 5 are breaking in brand new ones, unproven commodities. Have they got some reps? Yeah. But have they got meaningful reps and ran the entire show for a season? No. And that's what you get. And the ones that are veteran, a.k.a. a Penn State and a Clemson of those, heck, Oregon even at 7, breaking in a new quarterback, right? So all these teams, like, we just don't know where they are, which is also why this anticipation for a 1 versus 2 matchup at noon, all right, Saturday in the shoe, is going to be it's going to be amazing. But it's going to go back to when you're picking this game, who do you trust more? And you can even say Texas is revamping their offensive line, Ohio State's revamping because they lost 4 starters. But I actually feel very, very good where we are of all the surrounding pieces around that quarterback position, not only from the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs slightly. It's unproven, right? You have Donaldson, who is at West Virginia, who has a lot of experience, but Peoples does not. But I feel good about our offensive line because of what they were able to do in the playoff. Those are meaningful reps that you can't replicate at all, and they did it very well. And they had a whole other offseason to come together. So that's why you feel good, even though we lost a lot of guys and starters on defense. But you also feel good because you have a guy in Matt Patricia. And early in the season, this is where people, the coaches and players that can adjust the fastness will have success in that first game. Because unlike, professional football and high school football and junior high football, there are no warm-up games. There are no scrimmages for these guys. Like the first test is a huge test for them.
Yeah, definitely. And going to be very interesting to figure that how that looks. I always like to kind of throw some flowers out there when you get a chance. Been hyping up Jelani Thurman a lot because of the transformation he made, the work he's made in the offseason, how that's transferring onto the field. I was looking at depth chart by 11 Warriors. And I thought a lot of what they had put down there was pretty accurate. But there is some elements to it where, like they were talking about the tight ends. And I mean, the tight end room, I don't even know how that's going to break out. But I did see Max Clare, who had run an unbelievable stick nod today in practice. And it was really nice in the red zone. Just guy's an elite route runner, gotten a lot tougher, is like bought in, doesn't need the ball every time, like just wants to be a dude, as Keenan was talking about when we had him on, and just running that room and how to make him better. And I feel like he has gotten better, and he has made some nice plays. And today made a play. You look around, it's like, I don't know how many guys are making that. When you see plays like that, and I don't even know, we didn't even really talk about Schleg's, the JJ catch on Saturday where he caught it against Bryce West's legs. I was right behind there talking to Ross Bjork. I'm like, dude, he had to trap that against the ground. And Ross like, no, I think he got it. I'm like, dude, he has one arm, and it's not even his dominant hand. And you like not pinning against the guy's back is one thing. Like a calf. I mean, Schleg's, if that was your calf, that's like pinning against a toothpick, like roll all around. So that's what was impressive. Like he did that, and Bryce had great coverage. Ball's underthrown, and he just doesn't give up on the play. And ridiculous.
I remember the first time that I saw that, they went up. This was his first spring. So, last year's spring football. And he went up and was on the ground, got up and still made because it got deflected. And he went back and made the catch. And it's like, the dude's a competitor, man. Like every ball is his ball, and I'm going to make sure that I come down with it regardless of how good the coverage is. And that's just his mindset. And you see that because he's also a two-time Iron Buckeye, and it matters. And you see it in the transformation in his body and how serious he takes all of the things. Like everything is going – he perceives that everything he does in this process is going to make him the best football player that he could possibly be. So he attacks it with every fiber of his being. But you also brought up that thing with Max. You guys are talking about like the number one tight end in the portal, a kid who was probably one of the top 5 tight ends in all of college football, decides to come to Ohio State where there's only one football, 2 bona fide wide receivers, a brand new quarterback. It's like, I don't have to catch the ball 75 times a year. I could catch it 30, but like on that stick, Bob, like you were talking about that nod,
it's nasty.
Like that's a touchdown.
As a linebacker
in 15 yards. Oh, it's terrible, guys.
Falling down. You're falling.
Guys, it's terrible. It's terrible. And that's where the football acumen of a linebacker comes in. Like, dude, hey, guess what? I have to make sure I stay inside. I ain't biting on nothing. Where's my safety help? How do I bracket this guy or at least force him? Like, I'm going to stay inside out. I'm going to create as much collision at the line of scrimmage as I possibly can. And I just know I'm just going to run straight. And if he runs into me, live to play another down.
What if he catches it against the back of your calf?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Like, how do you even do that? Those things are like, IGB size. Good for you, man. So, hey, give them their flowers, man. You got me on that one.
I saw IGB when he was walking out. I'm like, dude, like, let's go. Like, let's smile a little bit, He's always calling.
Why so serious?
Why so serious? Because he's a serious dude. He goes, it's work time. And I go, love what you do. And then I just walked away. And that's all part of it. But they've had an ultra competitive camp. This week is going to be a huge week for him. Ryan's talked about it. And him and the quarterbacks, I think, are going to be available here. What time is it as we're recording this live? At 11-ish. They'll probably be available to the media here, I'm guessing, in about 25 minutes. Ross Bjork, I think, is going to be on here shortly, if not now, and to make some of the pregame activation announcements and how all that's going to look. The quarterbacks and Ryan are going to be available. for the first time. And that's why we're going to break down quarterback strikes. Wanted to save the best for last. And
You mean the punters and kickers?
no, we are
Oh.
not. There is not any breakdown or analysis, Schlegs, that needs to happen on the punters and kickers until we get dudes that are winning major awards again, that are winning the Groza Award or the Guy Award, which when we were there, I played with a guy that won each of them. Andy, well, Groom didn't win that. Groom was first team All-American, but oh man, now you're killing me.
No, you're killing me because I can see his face in my mind.
Who?
In my mind's eye.
Mike Nugent won the Groza, and
Dadgummit.
BJ Sanders won the guy.
Yes, that's
lefty.
it.
The lefty. Yeah, exactly. You thought you were going to digress me, Schlegs? I'm always going to remember. He lived across the street from AJ sophomore year. Once we come over and hang out, good dude with everything ultimately going on. But a lot of stuff that's going to be happening this week. And so we're going to keep you up to date and posted with everything on this. Before, we've had this in here for a while, Schlegs. I want to get to this little Hugh Freeze nugget because this is these are the type of players you need, Schlegs. These are the type of guys that you have to have out there. And before we start doing the quarterback breakdown, Hugh Freeze, Auburn's head coach, dropped out a phenomenal nugget about the type of players you need, about their physical build, Pat. And so if you want to throw that up, be able to play with it. Because Schlegs and I joke about this all the time. And it's a function of you want to be big, you want to be thick cylinder. And, it's one thing for us to joke because we're not head football coaches. We don't have to go to the mic and go to the podium. But if you get that pulled up about –
Could you imagine us on the mic? I would like to think that I like to think I would drop some nuggets like this.
I'm sure you would. But this is a nugget from Hugh Freeze that's an elite nugget that's taking it to the next level.
You need length and girth in this league. You need length and girth in this league.
Yeah, I could listen to that like 10 times. I mean, whatever league that is, Schlegs, I guess maybe is he talking about?
What is he talking about? Length and girth, like
is he talking about the SEC or is he talking about some other league that we don't even know?
Is he talking about? Is he talking about the size of dudes? Right, you need long armed, girthy guys, right? Long limbed guys. Is he talking about depth? You need depth on this in this league. What is the context?
And girth with the players, talking about the type of guys you need. And it was funny.
And girth.
I was watching. So I'm down there watching linebacker. I'm watching linebacker individual. Mick comes walking by. He's like, "What are we doing?" I go, "Getting off blocks." He's like, "Block disruption." I love it. I go, "Coach, if you can't get off a block, it doesn't matter if you can make a tackle." And he's like, he's like, "How the guys do? They're looking good. They're good." He goes, "We haven't always been good at that." I go, "You know what helps? Having length and girth to be able to get off blocks." I mean, that was like my comment. I go, when you got dudes out there like Arvell and Sonny or me, like dudes that are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", you can lock out and get off a block. I love tough Borland Schlegs, but like it was tough. He would get on guys, and he was not a very big dude, and they would swallow him up unless he got off really quick. And there's guys that have been great. I played with Zach Thomas. He was one of the best being able to do that. But if you're going to be a little undersized, it's an incredibly heavy lift to be able to get that done.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, like I'm not necessarily saying that to promote me.
Yeah, like let's promote you. Let's promote
Mick uses the difference. I mean, again, striking is something that you have to microdose. Like you can't say, hey, we're just going to be good at striking and only do it when we have pads on, and we're going to do it at the beginning of practice, and we're just going to make it an emphasis during the season. I remember very vividly Chris Ash and them putting this in, and it was all the time, every day. And it goes back, guys. Fundamentals of your sport win the day. You have to work on the fundamentals every single day. It's so funny to me when you watch coaches of all sports and all skill levels. Once they think they've taught A and B, they just go to C, and then that's where they go and stay without ever going back to A and B. It doesn't mean that you need to make it the same amount of time, but you always have to touch those qualities. And I'll put it this way. Nick hits the striking machine almost every day, every week in the off season. They hit it in the spring. They hit it in the summer. They hit it before practice. They work on it during practice. Like, it is the game. I always say this, the ball is the issue. Get to the football, right? And there's a party at the ball and everybody's invited. That's kind of the mentality, right? The ball is the issue, not the dude. Everybody's like, oh, well, I need to engage him and lift this guy up. I'm like, all right, but there goes the ball. I'm like, no, I got to strike, engage, and disengage very quickly. That was the only benefit that God gave me with Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. I could just use my skull and a violent punch to create separation to go to the most important thing in the sport, which is the ball. Not just, oh, look at me. So
there you go.
Anyways, that's what they do, man. They do it all the time. It is a point of emphasis. And guess what? You are what you emphasize, Bob.
Buckeyes, 100%. And what we're going to emphasize, Schleiks, is safety.
Oh,
Parents and athletes, protect what matters most with export mouth guards, trusted by professional athletes and for their kids too, and designed by
your kids got them. My kids got them. Everybody's got them.
Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection. My wife's like, why? Is there a string on it? And he said, no, it stays in your mouth because that carbon fiber is patented and custom 3D printed right to your grill. That means more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take a chance with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby to save 15% on your order. Export Schleiks, protect what matters most. We're going to start breaking down these Buckeye running backs coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And if you're watching, you like
I
this,
just want to say, hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. I want to say this. Ross Bjork's at the podium. We got so many people double watching right now, which is great because you're like watching us. You're watching Ross Bjork. Tell us what he says. And then in the chat, Emily's like, yeah, I'm looking at dude's neck girth now.
Yeah,
I like it. We appreciate that. They got to be able to take a punch. You know what I'm saying? Come on. See if that dude actually trains.
Watch them both, making sure that I tease, like, subscribe, leave your questions, comments. We love it all there. We'll see how kind of all this breaks out, and curious to see what Ross says, and we'll throw it in the chat and we'll give you those live updates as it comes through. I teased the running backs. I lied. It's the quarterbacks. We start talking about thick cylinders and big necks, and Carlos Lachlan fits that a little bit more than Billy Fessler. Like, so you're going to have to get on old Bill Fessler, and we got to get his neck thickened up. I told him, I go, you're lucky that Julian's in there, because if not, you'd be the smallest dude in your position room.
Dude, I tell you what, I found this thing. My buddy who came up with Joe Armstrong, Gas Station Ready, Josh Bryant.
How about Little Caesars Hot and Ready?
Yeah. That needs to be a t-shirt, but he had a thing called the Strong Neck, and it literally is like this pad, and you just stick the plate on it. And I'm like laying down on the bench, and I like to put my tongue on the roof of my mouth when I do it.
Why?
Because it just relaxes the jaw, and I just get more neck engagement. I'm just here, and I just stick like stick a 45-pound plate in your head and see if you can do that. But I'm just like right here. I'm just like, yeah, and then I'll go lighter so I can go lateral, and I'm just holding it. And guys, listen, man. I work my neck all the time.
You're talking about, laying flat on the bench with your head off the back. That's how we used to train neck in high school.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do it. The problem is, like, when you do manual neck, okay, like you have to be a good partner to be able to do it, right? And give the right amount of pressure. And people just don't know. So it's like, caveat.
Jack Johnson used to like sit on our head, and I mean, I thought I broke my neck. I think that's
you remember, and I tell people this too. It's funny. I was in there with some of the guys, and like, how we used to do like striking and neck training. And I would always remember Vrabes would come in and like, what are you guys doing? It's like, this is how I toughen up callus my hands. And he would just go onto the pillar. There's like these concrete pillars in the weight room, and he would just hit his hands and just callus up the bottom of his hand.
Blood sport.
He had massive just mitts for hands. And then I remember growing up, I would do like ISO neck holds like on an I-beam or a concrete, and it's like it would just make, I don't know, my forehead just stronger. But I did that, I mean, I could dent a locker with my skull 100%, and I would just say, hey, man, you want to see me dent this locker? It's $1 because I wanted to get, Bluebell ice cream sandwiches, Oreo cookie style, cookies and cream, and I would do that, man, no problem. So I was just preparing myself. It was the process that was setting me up for success of playing within the box later on in my life. True story.
Someone in the chat said, shouldn't you relax your tongue to release tension?
I did. But again, how are you going to relax it? It's just going to fall back. I put it at the roof of my mouth to relax it.
What she said.
It relaxes the jaw. You don't want to strain. Like, what am I saying?
Absolutely.
It's like, what? It just hangs out in the back of your throat.
We're talking about quarterbacks. And
what about them?
You digressed in eroded.
They have to use their mouths.
A neck training segment with 45-pound plates you put on your forehead. I mean,
let's do that.
Yeah. As I got older, I used to roll my shirt. I put a little towel under there to make sure that I wasn't like just destroying my forehead.
That's how I do my Botox, Bob, just with weights and iron. Like, look at these guys. Look at that.
Yeah, that might be it.
It's crapping.
So
infrared bed too at the Armory. I do that all the time.
All right. So quarterback position at Ohio State.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It is. You've got redshirt transfer freshman Julian, I'm just saying. And you've got Lincoln redshirt sophomore Keynotes. One guy's been here 2 years, the other guy's been here 3. Julian started at Alabama. When Saban left, he transferred out right away. So he was down there for, I don't know, a month or two, not very long. And been here ever since. Last year, neither one of the guys played a whole bunch, got a little bit of reps, but nothing of consequence or significance. So you're coming in this year with 2 quarterbacks. They're both highly acclaimed. Like Lincoln.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either, Siri. They're both highly acclaimed. One guy was the Gatorade Player of the Year. Boom, put on a lot of size and girth and length.
Yeah. So one guy, Lincoln Keynotes, played at South Dakota, went to a smaller school. Maybe didn't have like this quarterback guru development, all this stuff that we have now, Schleichs, because he's living in South Dakota, but played all the sports. Really good basketball player, really good baseball player, like just great overall athlete. Knew he was underdeveloped in the weight room, knew he was underdeveloped as a player, and there was going to be a lot of growth that needed to happen. So he came here knowing that hey, this is not a great situation for him, and it's a great situation. He's not going to play early, and he's not asking to play early. He's going to need development, both physically and mentally, from playing the position. And like they've been providing him that the last couple of years. You look at him physically, he's come a long way. You watch him play quarterback mentally and how he throws the ball, he's come a long way. And so you juxtapose that with Julian, I'm just saying, who is a Southern California kid, quarterback guy, has always been, in this, doing 7-on-7s, going to quarterback coaches and all these different things. And so those could not be like 2 more different like upbringings of your experience with being developed in the position. And then so now you're here with Ryan and Billy. And how do you begin to differentiate yourself? How do you separate? What do you need to do? Like, what is that going to look like? And those are all the questions that they have to ask themselves. And you chose to come here. And both of those guys, it's a burn the ships thing. And like, they're not mortal enemies. They talk to each other. They help each other. but they both want to play and be starting quarterback at Ohio State. And so Ryan sets up this competition to be kind of basically as fair as it's going to be. And this week, Schlegs, I think, is the one that he would like to see over these next 8 days. One of these guys take the bull literally by the horns.
Yeah, buckle up, Buttercup. We're going for a ride. And I would say this too, both those guys, I think Lincoln has put on about like 7 pounds, right? And Julian's put on about 5 to 7. I think he's probably around 210, just walking around 210. Lincoln's probably around 215. Lincoln's competitiveness, he's literally getting paired up with JJ. That's how competitive he is. And it also just shows you got a wide receiver like JJ that's going against bona fide dudes, going against a tight end and Max Clare. That's what it is. But in this competition, they're just different, right? So the number one thing that jumps off the screen at you with Julian is just his release and the ball that he throws. And again, when you're a quarterback, that's what you want. Obviously, recruited by Saban. Saban leads, comes to Ohio State, comes in, same, not developed, not ready to go, not going to compete with Will or Brown or Lincoln for a 2 or 3 or a 4, just wasn't physically ready. Now you've had 18 months under your belt and you understand the offense because you're a quarterback, you've done it for a long time. And now you start to have the physical size to be able to do it, to perform. Then you flip that to, Lincoln, who is a guy that can run. He is a physical guy. His accuracy and his ball has gotten significantly better. Thought Chip did a great job of helping that development last year. And that's where we are. But then you also look at who's the guy when you have the amount of weapons that we have at Ohio State. What are the attributes that we need from that guy? We unequivocally last year needed a Will Howard, bona fide alpha to run the show, right? And I go back to, people forget this. Will Howard was a 61% completion guy before he came to Ohio State. I think he set the all-time Ohio State record at 73.9%. It was close to 74. Won you a national championship. The development that he got in that 1 year was outstanding. And he set himself up right now to having a great camp with the Steelers and learning who's good. Who do you need to be able to get these dudes, and who do the dudes resonate with? That's going to be 1 and 1A as to how Ryan makes his judgment. But the thing is this, somebody's got to take it over because that's what Ryan wants. He doesn't want to get up there and be and have this draw out. He wants those reps as early and as often as he can get with all of the ones. I would suspect he probably wants that call, Bob, by going into Monday. So he knows what he's got for the final 2 weeks going into that Texas game.
I would say by Wednesday at the latest. But, yeah, we're talking a week from tomorrow, I think, or maybe the end of that next weekend. But, yeah, he wants to have 2 full weeks, final week of camp-ish, and then that final game, and then that first game preparation week, easy for me to say, wants to be able to have that. So that's coming up. These next 10 days are going to be vital for this. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. There's a couple other guys there, and we'll also talk a little bit more about them and what they need to do and how they can separate in training camp here coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. Welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show. And so you want to talk about dimension slides, and we talked about this. And earlier we talked about
not dimensions. Because people are already talking about my CTE on there. Yeah. And I got Emily, Joe, and Mark on the lookout
for your CTE, trying to catch your CTE for you.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat, we'll get into some of these questions, but the illusion that we need both quarterbacks during Texas. I hope that we don't need both quarterbacks during Texas, because that either means A, no one separated themselves, or B, someone got hurt and they had to have someone else come in. But if you look at Lincoln Keenholz, 6'3", currently weighs 214, added 7 pounds this year. Julian Sands, 6'1", that's the media guide, is 208, added 5 pounds this year. So both the guys have gotten a lot bigger. And Julian, obviously, a year younger than Keenan, than Link. Julian, a year younger than Lincoln. So that's where that'll obviously come into play. A couple other I think before we move on to this, I'm not going to predict the starter. I think consistency will be big for both guys, and then the leadership component of how they operate the offense. It's more than just being able to throw pretty balls and routes on air. Ryan's going to put them probably on Saturday Schlegs in some competitive situations, move the field, drive the field with the football, and see what they can do, and see how good you are, and it's not just a function of, he went 9 for 12 for 79 yards and a touchdown versus a guy that maybe went, 12 of 18, for a touchdown, maybe had an interception there, maybe threw for 100 yards. Like, which is better? Well, let's look at the throws. Let's look at the situations. Was that interception one that your receiver should have tipped? Like, people talk about, like, watching interceptions. I watched Julian throw a nice touchdown in the red zone today. I watched Lincoln scramble out, throw a ball that should have been caught, and puts it on the guy's hands. He drops it. Like, if you're a coach, like, you penalizing the quarterback for that? Like, he put it where it needed to be. So Ryan's been rotating him back and forth with the ones. Like, everybody at camp was like, ooh, who's going here? Who's going? Listen, folks, he's going to go back and forth until I see somebody with the first group Schlegs 3 days in a row. I don't think there's any separation that's been happening. And by the way, like, you'll be able to see it some during practice and be able to watch it. But there are a couple of other quarterbacks on the roster. There's number 9, who is Tavian St. Clair. Yep. Tavian's a freshman. Bellefontaine, Ohio. Bellefontaine, if you will. I don't know if you know this, Schlegs. The highest point above sea level is in Bellefontaine, Ohio, in the state.
Wow.
So put that nugget in your.
Lake St. Mary's is over there, right?
Yeah, it's not far. Lake St. Mary's, they're all close. Indian Lake, not far. But I consider Bellefontaine central-ish Ohio. It's not like in the immediate area here, but like my kids go skiing up there at Mad River.
That's where Mad River is. Yeah, it's the highest elevation in Central Ohio. Okay, in the state. Okay, I got it now.
Schlegs, look at you. That's more than just a pretty face. You're more than just a pretty face.
I can be a skier. I skied one time. I was really good at it.
Tavian St. Clair, 6'4", 230.
Yeah.
Of all the guys, if you line them up, you're like, that guy looks like he's the starting quarterback for Ohio State. You watch him throw routes on air. He might throw the best ball of everybody. Now, doesn't necessarily know all the intricacies of defense and playing quarterback because he is going into his true freshman year in his first year at Ohio State, but he has all the physical tools.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Tavian a couple times, and we've got one of my good buddies played baseball, I think with his uncle at Bellefontaine. We've talked a little bit, and the one thing, we've had a lot of great quarterbacks. You look at Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud, Will Howard, J.T. Barrett. But really the last elite quarterback that we've had, and unfortunately his career got deterred, was Braxton Miller. And then before that was Todd was pretty good, and Troy Smith obviously won a Heisman. I was at Troy's golf outing yesterday, by the way. It was awesome.
Yeah, how was that, Bob?
It was good.
How'd you play, and how was
hold on. We'll get to that next. We're going to get to that in maybe headlines or something. But you're a guy that moved here, so you've embraced all that there is about Ohio. You've left, you've moved back, you've left, you moved back again. So, I mean, you laugh, but it's true. But I've talked about having the face of the organization. Like, this is a big thing with Jack Sawyer. I go, buddy, having a guy, I've talked to Sonny about this, being an Ohio guy, and especially a Central Ohio guy, like, that matters. And it matters a lot. Like, when you're starting quarterback is like Troy Smith, a Heisman Trophy winner, he's from the state, or you're winning national championships, or potentially being a first or second round guy. And you're not somebody that came from somewhere else. And I love all the guys, just like you, Schlegs, that come from other places. But like being here and going to school in the state of Ohio and then being that guy, like that means a lot to the people in this state. It means a lot to the high school coaches. It means a lot to like the young kids growing up around here, because like this guy, I mean, he grew up the same as you. He's from this region, which, a lot of people can crap on Ohio and everything else, but it matters. And so I was trying to impress, I had some small conversations, like impress upon him the gravity and the weight that you have to carry. And that's just it. It's not fair. Doesn't matter. And this year is all going to be about learning for Tavian. But like that's something that should never be lost on him. Just like I told Bryce, I've talked to Bryce and Aaron a little bit. They're from Springfield and Cleveland. Like, dude, you guys could be 2 first-round corners drafted in the same class, both from the state of Ohio. There's not many position groups in any team ever that's the case. Like AJ and I, Ted Ginn and Gonzo. I'm like, it's like searching for that. There's just not a whole lot. I go, so those are things that are ultimately that are very, very special as well. And we're going to put up on our poll. This is going to be wild about who the fans want to start versus Texas. So, we'll get to that probably tomorrow or maybe Thursday as we move forward. But like, that's another piece of it, Schleiss, of just understanding when you're a young guy, how important it is, for you to be that dude, and fulfill like all of the 5-star qualities when you're from the state going to big state U.
Yeah. I mean, hey guys, this holds water because coming from the number 6 of the last 25 years in Central Ohio, Bobby Carpenter, number 42, number 1 in your hearts. And it does matter, Bob. It does matter. And the good thing is this, is just because there might be this perceived quarterback battle in 2025 of Julian Say and Malik Keenholz doesn't necessarily mean that your number is not going to be called. Doesn't mean that you're not going to develop through the season. Doesn't mean that you might all of a sudden be the backup. Doesn't mean that that person, whoever starts this year, is the starter going into next year. Because guess what? If you're good enough, take it. Be the alpha. You're absolutely spot on. If you look at the physical qualities that you want in a quarterback, the measurables, the height. I mean, Will Howard, big, girthy, lengthy dude. Okay, thank you, Hugh Freeze, for this every single time I get to say it. But Will is a big guy. Will came in 242, 245 pounds, slimmed down to 235. But guess what? You didn't see him get sacked. Why? Big, girthy, lengthy dude. And so that's what you want. And then also for what you do in your state and when you go back to where you're from. I mean, that was when I always went back to my high school in Texas. It was the same thing. Like kids, Stafford, we joke, Bob, with Stafford's like, he'll tell Schlegel stories. Yeah, that really happened. That was true.
And maybe we'll throw that up.
It means something here, man.
Put that up at the end of the show, man. My guy, Matty Stafford. Love him.
Put that up.
We've got our headlines coming up next. I want to tell you about our friends over at Backer. Brand new Buckeye gear, premium Buckeye gear for premium Buckeye fans. That's bckr.com. Go check them out. The wind gear, the rain gear, the cold gear. They've got it all the products, all the features that you're looking for. Great hats and coats. It's all there. It's the high-end outdoor gear for skiing, fishing, golfing, all those things. Portion of every purchase goes back to support Ohio State student athletes at NIL. Use promo code all caps BOBBY at checkout for free expedited shipping. I've got the stuff. It's awesome. You'll love it. It's bckrbacker.com. Go check them out. Headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome to our headlines brought to you by our friends at Lake Spur Marketing. They've got over 100 years of experience to help you choose your marketing strategies, tools, and products. They're right for your business. They'll shoot you from the cold collars, always pitching the latest and greatest new gimmicks out there. Leave the marketing to them so you can do what you do best, which is run your business. They'll help you grow it. Lake Spur Marketing will eliminate the waste. They're going to deliver on time and, most importantly, on budget. Trust the experts. Trust Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in their partners. Visit Lake Spur Marketing today. That's our headline, Schleiks.
Love
What
that.
questions you want to ask me about? The Troy's at golf outing? Which
Yeah,
we're gonna
Troy's
do-
golf outing.
Yeah, we're going to get you in there next year. It was great because I got to see Troy, Ted, Stanley Jackson was out there. Our guy Tyler
Oh,
Everett,
good.
Roy Hall. Troy said, "Man, someone said AJ was walking around. It was up at Tartan Fields. He did a good job. It was for Troy's Don't Make It Weird. His foundation supporting Don't Make It Weird with mental health and athletes." And he goes, "Man, someone said they saw AJ walking around up here." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, he lives like not far from here." He goes, "I got to get him on here next year." I was like, "All right." He goes, "You guys are a big deal." I'm like, "Troy, we love you, man. You're." I go, "I got 2 sets of gold pants because of you." Like, not to besmirch any of my other teammates, but I mean, Troy Schleg's in 04 and 05. I mean, Troy Smith put on a show, and always great to get out there and support our teammates. At it's for a great cause, and it's a good time putting it together. Tress was able to go last year, obviously, because he was not the governor at the time, or the lieutenant governor. But I told Troy, he's like, "Man, we got to get boy Schlegs." To go, "Well, I'm going to email the guy. I'll talk to the guy that emails me and sets it up, and I'll make sure that we get Anthony Friedrich Schlegel on the list next year so you can get out there and bang some balls." I played okay. I hit some good ones. I got disenchanted from probably about 13 to 17, 16 on the back, and I was just getting tired. I get worn down. Schlegs, the fatigue of golf is real. I didn't have a single drink on the course, which is the first time that I've done that in probably a decade. Possibly ever, but at least a decade. And I just got mentally fatigued, but I did bounce back and like hit like a nice dead straight drive on 17. I was like, "This is why I'm going to come back to play
Coming
again."
back.
Yeah, this is what brings you back. Is this crap? Just when I'm about ready to give up, I actually hit a nice dead straight drive, hit some nice putts, hit some nice chips. I had enough good shots. I had some bad, but it was kind of a typical round for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you know what? I mean, honestly, Bob, I've been back for a month, and I've probably been to like 4 or 5 charity events. So,
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I gotta do a better job of balancing it. But we always want to give back because we are very fortunate that too much is given, much is required, and you do have a brand and you do have a name, and Troy's giving back, and we want to support our former teammates and the things that they are doing, and so we show up and show out. So that's what it is, man. That's what it's about. Pay it forward.
absolutely. And that's the best part. Being a Buckeye is great, giving back Schlegs, and I knew you were going to just get overwhelmed with the opportunities to just influence people in a positive way, which is tremendous. That is our headline for today. Now we've got our Tailgate Talk brought to you by Real Truck, where you've got a lot of questions in the chat. We'll try to get to as many of them as we can. They're coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome in to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schlegs just disappeared. We got our tailgate.
No, look at this. Real Truck. Let's freaking go. I got some new tires. I put on like 55,000 miles. Look at these bad boys.
Oh,
So nice.
they are looking good.
Minnow grappler. Look at the size of that thing.
Look at the deep ridges, and that looks like
Yeah, look at
your
all
range,
those-
like those
Look
deep
at all
ridges.
those things. I love it.
Just got to slap them on, slap at the base. Terry in the chat, we were talking about some of the stuff that Ross Bjork was going to be mentioning. Improved game day experience. Ross mentioned towels to wave for visual effects, Schlegs. Maybe, I don't know if we need to go full cowbell, but I do like the towel waving. You a fan of that?
Like Petey Pablo, North Carolina. Take your shirt off.
Want to raise up?
Twist it around your head like a helicopter, bro.
Absolutely.
Why not? The only thing I worry about though is there's so many people that sit down.
No, that'll get you to stand up.
But then what? Like, do we have it? Like, maybe it's something that we should put like a public announcement, Bob. Maybe you and I get on there. We should talk to Ross about this. How to properly swing the towel.
Maybe you'll put together a PSA.
Towel swinging.
You and me.
Towel swinging intro video, Bob.
Towel swinging.
Because you also don't want long towels to where you're just slapping them.
No, they need to be
somebody's
the short like weight room towels, like the hand. They look like a hand towel. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
I know. I like those. They
Yeah.
should have It should be a workout time. We're passing them out there like nuggets.
Of course.
Maybe there's like a quote from us on there or something.
Question coming from Terry Slusher. Y'all think Lee Corso will put the Brutus headgear on one last time? It will be Lee Corso's final game day at Texas. It's where he started all at Ohio State. I think the Brutus was the first one he ever did. I think he probably does it. Lee loves to play to the crowd. He does love Bevo, but Bevo's not here. He can't cut the cow head off and put it on either. So I think he's going to lean in with Ohio State.
And honestly, I see why not. I mean, if it was a night game in the shoe, first time for Arch, you would definitely. But it's at noon. It's going to be the first. Who you trust, Stark, or do you trust Ryan Day? Do you trust the attacking national champion or the team that they beat in the semifinals? Like, both have brand new starting quarterbacks. One's at home, one's away. Who are you going to go with? It makes sense. Put the headgear on, Lee.
All right, your Chris Kersey threw up here Vuvuzelas. Do you know what those are, Schlegs?
¿Cómo te llama?
The Vuvuzelas.
That
Chris
means what's
Kersey
your name?
threw it up, Pat. Those are what they play like over in Europe or like South America,
Like
Africa. I don't know. There's some sort of like giant kazoo.
I need a visual.
It's like a giant kazoo.
Okay.
That's there. I'm not a fan of those. I do like.
Oh, I know what those are. Those are the ones from like soccer.
Yes. They play them like a giant kazoo.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Chris Kersey also said we need more cowbell, and then I make gold records, because if you could get Bruce Dickinson to come in here and get everybody going, I would be a huge fan of that. Bruce Dickinson.
And everybody loves. Man, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes that cowbell is, and those little kazoo things. There's a point. There's a time and a place to do it. It's just, I don't know. And then they got those ones. Maybe you get the ones where you get the little sticks. You know, the little. And they just bang them together. You know, you see those at the soccer match, because then they're back there and field goals or whatever. But banging sticks.
I got it. Banging sticks. So you said something about tummy sticks. That's the end of this segment. We're going to wrap up the show with our parting thoughts from Mr. Anthony Schlegel, maybe a Stafford little.
Oh yeah, do that one. Do that one. Okay, I got to find it.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Put this up, Pat.
Final segment of the show.
Put it up, Pat.
Throw my guy, Matty Stafford. And, dude, Matty Stafford was a legend at Georgia. The best part is these are all pictures with his girlfriend and now current wife, Kelly. We called her K-Cup. She was the best. What was he even doing? Stafford was my party dude, man. He's an awesome guy and love him to death.
Oh, I just remember the conversations when I would go back from college at Ohio State and Stafford was in high school at Highland Park. Like, hey,
that's his wife, folks, by the way. So like it's all above board. They were just dating at the time.
Yeah,
like you and
awesome.
Like,
this is what happened when social media took all this away. No, they still
took it all away. Social media took it all away.
I mean, I can imagine if we had social media when we were there, Bob. It'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. I'm happy we did it.
I'm glad too. I said you could.
I'm happy you have the real photos, Bob. You have not only they live in my mind. Okay, all those out there, like they live in my mind, but they live in Bobby's drawer.
They do. They live in my nightstand, Schlegs. I pull them out when I'm feeling lonely at night. You know,
he's right there, just like, man, I'm feeling bad about life. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
And there's so many more. And it's the memories. I was talking to Mike Stafford, and I was like, dude, what was that car? Were you driving a Lincoln?
Yeah, the big white Lincoln.
No, he didn't. It was a Caprice, and he showed it to me, and it was like the round body. Yeah. That was when the Impala came out, and they kind of rounded the Impala out.
That was sweet.
And he's like, no, this is my favorite body style. And he showed me the Caprice of like the late 80s, and it was really boxy and square. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so sexy. I would drive one for sure.
Of course.
Right now. Paid off.
The only way I put those up there is because I looked at them all with my wife. I'm like, those are all pictures of Kelly. That's great. She's the best. And it's his wife now, because I would never put my boy Stafford like that on blast. Good dude, good human, just like my man Schleich. Stay locked in here. We'll see you tomorrow with Bill Bender on the Bobby Carpenter Show.